To support this channel, we ask everyone to like and subscribe. Return of the Anunnaki. The Rapture. The countdown had begun. Across the vast expanse of the cosmos, the ancient planet Nibiru glowed ominously, its celestial body pulsating with an eerie, otherworldly energy. From its surface, the Anunnaki, a technologically advanced species rumored in Earth's most ancient myths, prepared their final maneuver. On this day, they unleashed their plan, releasing 1,000 points of light into the black void of space. These were not ordinary lights. They were the 1,000 largest spaceships humanity, or any other civilization, had ever conceived. Each ship, an engineering marvel, was a city unto itself, bristling with technology far beyond the comprehension of Earth's brightest minds. The fleet moved with precision, an organized cascade of glowing monoliths surrounding Earth. From space, the view was both mesmerizing and terrifying. The shimmering armada seemed to choke the night sky, their sheer size blocking out the stars. Earth's people watched in awe and dread as the celestial fleet positioned itself, a living halo of doom. When the ships reached their positions, the air was heavy with an unnatural stillness. And then, without warning, the assault began. Each ship launched a massive laser beam, a concentrated shaft of energy that cut through the Earth's atmosphere as though it were paper. The lasers were not chaotic bursts, but precise instruments of destruction, designed to alter the planet's fragile balance. The beams targeted Earth's polar regions first. In the Arctic, the ice caps dissolved almost instantly under the searing energy. The once pristine expanse of glacial ice transformed into torrents of rushing water, cascading into the oceans with an unstoppable force. Antarctica, too, succumbed to the assault. Thousands of frozen histories melted away in mere moments, sending unimaginable volumes of water surging into the seas. The immediate effects were catastrophic. Sea levels rose rapidly, inundating coastal cities within hours. From New York to Tokyo, from London to Mumbai, the floodwaters showed no mercy. Streets became rivers, and buildings that had stood as symbols of human ingenuity were reduced to crumbling relics beneath the relentless tide. Yet the devastation was far from over. The sudden influx of water into the oceans disrupted the planet's tectonic stability. Tsunamis, massive beyond anything recorded in human history, began to form. Towering walls of water, hundreds of meters high, roared across continents. Entire nations disappeared beneath their fury. The Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans became one as the waves merged and surged inland, erasing centuries of civilization in their wake. Survivors fled to higher ground, but safety was an illusion. Mountain ranges offered temporary reprieve, but the relentless onslaught of water claimed all but the highest peaks. Everest, Kilimanjaro, and a handful of other mountaintops remained as isolated islands in a world now dominated by water. The rest of the Earth had become an endless expanse of churning, turbulent seas. The destruction was not limited to the physical world. Humanity's infrastructure, communications, power grids, transportation networks collapsed entirely. The few who survived found themselves isolated, unable to call for help or coordinate with others. The once connected world had been severed, reduced to scattered pockets of terrified individuals clinging to life. Those who had anticipated the Anunnaki's attack were better prepared, though their numbers were tragically few. Deep underground bunkers, hidden in remote locations, offered refuge to the most resourceful and well-informed. These shelters, equipped with months or even years of supplies, became the last bastions of human life. Yet, even in these fortified havens, the survivors faced an uncertain future. They had escaped the immediate apocalypse, but they knew the Anunnaki's intentions were far from benign. Above the planet, the Anunnaki fleet hovered in eerie silence. Their work, for now, was done. The planet had been reshaped, its ecosystems destroyed, and its inhabitants decimated. But the purpose behind their actions remained unclear. Were they claiming Earth as their own, punishing humanity for some unknown transgression? Or was this merely the first phase of a larger plan? Meanwhile, The survivors in the bunkers struggled to adapt to their new reality. Life underground was harsh and claustrophobic, a stark contrast to the open world they had lost. Supplies were rationed, and tensions ran high as people grappled with grief, fear, and the uncertainty of their future. Yet, amidst the despair, a fragile hope began to emerge. Scientists, engineers, and leaders among the survivors started to devise plans, pooling their knowledge and resources. If humanity were to endure, it would require unity, ingenuity, and unwavering determination. The countdown had ended, but a new countdown had begun. The Anunnaki's 1,000 points of light had brought darkness to Earth, but humanity's spirit, though battered and bruised, refused to be extinguished. The battle for Earth's future was far from over. The 1,000 spaceships released a vibration so profound that it resonated across the Earth's surface, disrupting its natural frequencies. These vibrations, created by the massive beams of light emanating from each warship, pulsed with an intensity that seemed to ripple through the very fabric of reality. The beams, impossibly bright and omnipresent, illuminated the planet in an ethereal glow that reached even the deepest corners of the oceans. From beneath the waters, strange and mesmerizing patterns began to emerge. DNA symbols, glowing and pulsating with energy, rose from the oceans, rivers, and lakes, spiraling upwards into the beams of light. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying, a surreal spectacle that defied comprehension. These symbols, ancient and sacred, carried the essence of life itself, unlocking secrets long buried in humanity's genetic code. As the DNA symbols ascended, their form began to shift. The patterns unraveled and reassembled, transforming into translucent, human-like shapes. Each shape became clearer and more defined as it moved closer to the spaceships. Men, women, and children, glowing with an otherworldly luminescence, materialized one by one within the beams. The dead were resurrected, their forms restored in perfect clarity. It was an event unlike anything humanity had ever imagined, what some might call the rapture. Yet this rapture was far from the salvation described in sacred texts. This was a harvesting, a reclamation of life for a purpose far more sinister. The Anunnaki watched from their colossal warships, their alien forms silhouetted against the glowing interiors of their vessels. To them, this was not a moment of divine reunion, but the culmination of a millennia-old plan. Every human who had ever walked the earth, from the first ancestors who roamed the plains to those who perished in the apocalyptic flood, was being brought back. Their DNA, preserved in the planet's water and air, was now being used to reconstruct their physical forms, pulling them from the grasp of time and death. As the resurrected humans reached the ships, they were drawn into the Anunnaki's advanced technology. The warships became sanctuaries of unimaginable complexity, their interiors vast and filled with chambers that glowed with pulsating energy. The humans, now fully reformed, were corralled into these chambers. What awaited them there was not redemption but consumption. For the Anunnaki, humans were not sacred beings but a source of sustenance. Their bodies were dissected, their energy harvested, and their very essence used to sustain the extraterrestrial race. The process was horrifying yet efficient. The Anunnaki's technology was far beyond the understanding of earthly minds, capable of transforming the physical and metaphysical properties of human life into pure energy. This energy powered their ships, extended their lives, and ensured the survival of their civilization. To the Anunnaki, this was not cruelty but necessity. The humans, they believed, were created for this purpose, their DNA engineered long ago as a renewable resource. As the last remnants of humanity were drawn into the Anunnaki's fleet, the earth grew silent. The lights began to fade, and the ships, having completed their harvest, started to move. Their departure was slow and deliberate, a final act of dominance over a planet they had claimed as their own. The waters, now devoid of the DNA that had once teemed within them, settled into an eerie stillness. The planet was changed forever, a hollow echo of the vibrant world it had once been. And yet, in the darkness of the bunkers, a faint glimmer of hope persisted. Among the survivors were scientists, theologians, and dreamers who refused to accept extinction as their fate. They whispered of resistance, of finding a way to fight back against the Anunnaki. The technology, the DNA symbols, the beams of light, they believed these could be understood, perhaps even turned against their creators. For now, they could only wait and plan, knowing that the Anunnaki would return, and when they did. For now, they could only wait and plan, knowing that the Anunnaki would return, and when they did, humanity would need to be ready.